Welcome to the night section. Brother Love, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, whatever name you want to use. One thing's for certain, Sean Combs stands as a towering figure in hip-hop. Now, the rap mogul has gone from a one-time intern to label founder, clothing designer, entrepreneur, and recently had his net worth valued at about $1 billion. Now, long story short, Diddy is a monumental figure in the history of rap and the hip-hop culture as a whole. Now, behind the scenes, however, lies shadows of controversy and questionable business practices that have trailed him throughout his entire career. Now, Diddy's ascent to fame and fortune in the music world is undeniable, with a string of hit records, a successful record label, and a knack for branding. He solidified his position as one of the most influential figures in the music industry. Now, what lies deeper, however, may actually surprise you. Join us as we uncover the shady business dealings of P. Diddy.
Home with me, they will be in the house with Puff. So I'm like, it's a funny game y'all playing behind the scenes. So when people see me, they just see me turned up. They just see me agitated. They just see me aggressive, but they don't know why. So if somebody, let's just say we run down on Gilly car, if we got guns or whatever, where we got them, and we trap Gilly, and then the next week you see Wallow with me at your house, how are you gonna feel?
Yeah, I'm snapping out.
You tweaking, right? So now my head is bugging, like what's really going on, because every time something happened to me, it's somebody that's with him. But this is supposed to be the nigga I'm signed to. This is supposed to be who I'm getting money with. And I gotta say this because when people see me irate and they see me aggressive, they wanna, yo, what is Mace doing? Mace is bugging. No, it's a point you get to that you like, yo, I can't let you play because you playing now dangerous games. So imagine somebody doing that and then they over there talking about brother love.
Now, Mr. Sean Combs was born on November 4th, 1969 in Harlem, New York City. He grew up raised by a single mother, Janice, after his father was killed when he was only 2 years old. Now, despite these early setbacks, Diddy persevered and graduated from Mount St. Michael Academy in 1987 and went on to pursue a business degree at Howard University before dropping out his sophomore year. Now, rather than continuing his education, Diddy had found something he enjoyed a lot more, and that was the music industry. Now, he began his internship at Uptown Records in 1990 and was eventually elevated into a talent director role where he oversaw the development of household names such as Mary J. Blige, Jodeci, and so on and so forth. Eventually, after he was let go by Uptown, he decided to start his own label named Bad Boy Entertainment and brought on the up-and-coming artist at the time, Notorious B.I.G., or aka Christopher Wallace, to bolster the label's initial lineup. Now, after some initial success, the label became entrenched in an infamous feud with the West Coast-based label, Death Row Records, founded by Mr. Suge Knight himself. And we will get into that more a little later. In 1997, Diddy released his debut album, No Way Out, which was a massive commercial success. Now, the album ended up being 7 times platinum and won the 1998 Grammy for Best Rap Album. In 1998, he dipped his toes into a new venture, which was clothing. He founded Sean John, an urban clothing line which immediately sold well and has now done over $450 million in sales. As his career continued, Diddy began focusing less on being an artist and more on becoming a kingmaker. He has released 4 additional albums since No Way Out, but none have achieved near the success of his debut. Fortunately for Diddy though, they didn't have to. With the massive success of Bad Boy, along with his noted early rap and production career, Diddy had established himself as a force to be reckoned with. Now, with Sean John doing extremely well, he decided to continue to drift toward a life of entrepreneurship rather than just being an artist and a label boss. Now, this move would pay dividends for the Harlem native. Now, by 2010, Diddy's influence was nearly impossible to ignore. He's still doing music, leading a still active Bad Boy Records, Sean John had recently acquired the competing brand E-Nice and was putting pen to paper on a distribution deal with Macy's. And if that wasn't enough, he had also recently signed a deal to promote Ciroc vodka for a 50% ownership stake. Now on paper, life was good for Diddy, and that hasn't really changed up until now. He has become a true mogul, a family man, and was recently named a billionaire in Forbes magazine. But as we all know too well, very rarely does someone make it to the top without some corner cutting and controversy. And in the case of P. Diddy, there's more than one shady incident that can make you think twice about the squeaky clean image he tries to portray.
You got arrested when you got locked up. Is that when your whole contract with Bad Boy was ended, or how did that go?
Yeah, well, the dude told on me. You feel me? He sent witnesses to try to testify against me and all that. I was facing 25 years, so, anybody that would play with my life like that, it wasn't even a question. He knew what he had to do. I'm not no rapper. My life is for real. I let that thing go off, so he knew it.
The Shine incident. In late December 1999, Diddy and then partner Jennifer Lopez were in attendance at Club New York, located in downtown Manhattan, along with his protege, Shine. During the course of the night, gunfire erupted inside the club, and it was later discovered that the incident stemmed from a disagreement between Diddy and another person in attendance, after he allegedly poked fun at the Bad Boy boss. Now in the aftermath, both Diddy and Shine were charged with weapons violations along with other charges, including bribery. Now the trial that would come made headline news, and when all was said and done, Diddy was exonerated of all charges, while Shine was convicted on 5 of his 8, being sentenced to 10 years in prison. Now, many noted throughout the proceedings that while Diddy was being represented by the famous John A. Crochan, the man known for winning O.J. Simpson's murder case, Shine had a different lawyer team representing him. And the days after the conviction, Shine would speak out, stating that Diddy never offered his superstar legal team to the protege, leaving him with second-rate lawyers. Many also speculated that Diddy had snitched on Shine in order to save himself, which is a huge no-no in the world of hip-hop. Now Shine would go on to serve 9 of those 10 years, while Diddy never saw a day in prison. Shady business dealings. Now the incident at Club New York stands as one of a laundry list of questionable to shady moments in Diddy's lengthy career, from financially unethical to downright violent. Let's take a brief look at some of the most notable of these instances over the past 25 years. Number 1, we have in 1997, Diddy was charged with assault after attacking then Interscope Records executive and manager of rapper Nas, Steve Stout. After the two were involved in a verbal altercation regarding the release schedule of a music video, during the attack, which was carried out by Diddy along with 2 accomplices, Stout was struck with both a telephone and a champagne bottle. The charges would end up being dropped, and Diddy faced no legal ramifications. For number 2, in 2007, Diddy was handed down $1 million lawsuit after allegations surfaced that he had his bodyguards violently remove a hip-hop promoter from a nightclub in New York City. For number 3, he was involved with a notable altercation with Drake over the use of a beat on the Toronto's artist 0 to 100 The Catch Up. And for number 4, in 2015, he was arrested after allegedly attacking a football coach at UCLA, for which he was charged with making terroristic threats, battery, and 3 separate counts of assault with a deadly weapon. And to top it all off, Diddy was sued by Cindy Rueda, his former personal chef, in 2015 after she accused the mogul of repeated sexual harassment and poor working conditions. They, however, settled that case out of court. So we've established that Sean Combs has not been afraid to resort to violence to get his way, as he's risen to be one of the most powerful figures in the world of hip-hop. But violence is only part of the story. Diddy also has a track record of extremely shady business dealings over the course of his career that on the surface paint a picture that the Harlem native isn't the best choice to get into business with. For example, after sampling Every Breath You Take by the Police for his tribute to B.I.G. I'll Be Missing You featuring Faith Evans without permission, Diddy was ordered to pay an astounding $5,000 per day to Sting, the original composer of the 1983 hit song. Now, while the two are on good terms today, that wasn't always the case, and let's just say that it didn't start out as a fruitful relationship. Now, in 2021, Diddy came under fire once again after he made public statements attacking corporate America and their willingness to pay black people fairly. Now, while the sentiment and the message of his statement was good, many were quick to point out that the Bad Boy founder had also exhibited numerous quote-unquote corporate America-esque type tactics over the course of his career, including when he declined to sell rapper Mace his publishing rights because he believed someone of European descent could offer more. A similar incident occurred with another Bad Boy group, The Lox, who infamously called Diddy out in 2005 after he refused to sell them their publishing rights. Now, all of these examples give more than enough evidence to suggest that at his worst, Diddy has been a shady businessman and had a tendency for violence in order to achieve his desires. However, all of this doesn't come close to comparing the biggest cloud hanging over the career and legacy of Sean Combs: war against Suge Knight and Tupac. In 1996, at the height of his fame, as well as the infamous Bad Boy vs. Death Row feud, rap superstar Tupac Shakur was killed in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas after leaving a Mike Tyson boxing match held at the MGM Grand. Now, this is a story that many of you guys are aware of, and there are way too many intricate details to go into, so we'll save that for another day. And know that for the purposes of this video, no one was ever found guilty for the murder of Pac, and from essentially the moment the rapper was pronounced dead, rumors began to fly that Diddy had something to do with it. Now, this was because after being shot previously in 1994 in Manhattan, Tupac had been vocally adamant that both Biggie and Diddy were responsible for the attempted murder. And now, through multiple investigations into both Tupac's and Biggie's murders, many believe that this was the case. In fact, after working on a case for more than 3 years, Detective Greg Carding stated that it was his belief that Diddy had offered over $1 million to put a hit out on both Pac and Suge Knight to end the label rivalry for good.
Immediately in the aftermath, Diddy hears about the shooting, finds out that there's, Tupac's been shot and is in the hospital in Las Vegas. And according to Keefe D, he gets a phone call. He's actually with Zip, the intermediary, and they're back in LA, and Zip takes a phone call, and it's Puffy on the other end of the line, hands the phone to Keefe D, and Puffy asks him, man, was that us? Was it, what just happened out there? Keefe D's like, yeah, that's us.
Now, a few names of potential hitmen were thrown around for nearly 2 decades, when finally, in September of this year, Los Angeles police announced that an arrest had been made in connection with Tupac's murder. The suspect, Dwan Keefe D. Davis, is notable, and he's one of the names that Detective Carding stated he believed was connected to the hit on Pac, and very well could have been paid off, or at least have been promised to be paid off by Diddy to make it all happen.